Hey guys, it's Sam, and this is Top 5 Wednesday. If you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below for topics. This week's topic is series that got worse with each book, or also TV show series that got worse with each season. This is one that I definitely recommended people have talking about both, because Top 5 Wednesday is always open to TV and movies and books, like that's always a thing, but I think this one really applies for that, because I have a few on here that are TV shows, and that's instantly what I was thinking of. I have a mix of TV and books, so let's get into it. Number 5 is the Goddess Test series by Amy Carter. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and I so highly enjoyed the first book when I read it. I thought it had a ton of potential. It's about a girl who is taking a test basically to become the new Persephone. So she's not Persephone. Persephone already exists, but she's kind of being not replaced because she's been gone for a while. Anyway, I don't want to totally get into it, but she's becoming the new Persephone. So you guys know how I feel about stuff like that. And I really loved this first book. I thought it was fun, and I thought that the characters had a lot of room for growth. Ultimately, they didn't, and they didn't grow, and Kate, the main character, didn't turn into a Persephone-type character, and she was not the things that I like seeing. Like, she was not a strong character, she was not powerful, she was very kind of cowering, and almost Bella Swan-esque, but didn't even get the level of badass that Bella eventually gets. She was just remained static, the same, and it was painful. Each book got worse, and I was just hoping for it to get better, and it didn't, and I'm still very sad about it. Number 4 is the Serena Legacy Trilogy by Anna Banks. The first book is Of Poseidon, which I thought was a fun time. This is a mermaid series. It's a fun mermaid series, and this first book I really enjoyed. I even really enjoyed the second book. Not as much as the first one, it's a little bit shorter, but ultimately I ended up enjoying it. Then the third book is not necessary. Like, there's no reason to read the third book. It's so unnecessary, and it pulls up a lot of things unnecessarily, and it adds in this almost love triangle element for no reason, and it just does stupid stuff for no reason. It's so not necessary. This series should have been a duology. I'm still kind of mad about it, because this is just like a fun, fluffy mermaid series, and then they try to make it all, like, complicated at the end. It's like, why? There's no reason to do that. Number 3 is one of my beloved series, and that is the Anita Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton. And I actually really enjoyed the first 9 or 10 books in this series. This is an adult urban fantasy series, and I really enjoyed like the first 9 or 10 books. But I've talked about this before. It has like 25 books in the series now, and the later books just get really weird for no reason. They just really get like off base, and there's a lot of things happening for no reason, and it just gets overly like complicated, and there's a lot of like unnecessary sex, and it's just like, stop. It gets away from its roots later on in the series, because the series starts out with Anita Blake being an animator, so she can animate corpses. She's kind of like a necromancer, and then she uses her abilities to either give people closure with their family members or to like solve mysteries or whatever, and that's really cool. And she also is like a vampire hunter, and she works with the police and stuff like that. It's really cool. So it has this like crime element to it as well, and I really like the character interactions and all the characters that are in it, and like the romance elements even and stuff like that. Later on in the series, it just really is focused on a lot of sex stuff for no reason, for really no reason, and it just gets really repetitive, and the author has admitted that she doesn't know how to end this series. Like, she is very unwilling to kill any of her characters off, and she's kind of almost unwilling to make them sad, and it's unending at this point. Like, I feel like there was a point when she could have ended it, and she chose not to, and now it's just like, it just keeps going. And when you don't have like that threat of characters, like, and not that I want characters to die, because I don't, I love these characters, but like, when you know they're always going to be fine, it's just kind of like, this is never ending. This is never gonna end. And the last 2 we have are TV. So number 2 is Once Upon a Time. And I watched the first, I don't even know how many seasons, because their seasons are so weird, because they do that like half season switch thing. So it's almost like they have 2 seasons in one. It's really stupid. So I loved the first season so much. It was so amazing. And then ever since then, I've really felt like it's just been like, like, I haven't watched since after the Peter Pan stuff, I think, is when I stopped. No, I watched the Wicked Witch stuff. See, I can't even remember. Like, so the Wicked Witch of the West stuff I watched, and I think that was it. So I stopped right before the Frozen plotline was starting to happen. And it's a good series kind of to, I think, binge watch on like Netflix and stuff, but I cannot watch it week to week. Like, because nothing happens in like any of the episodes. Like, it's just, the first season was really good because it had like a really coherent story, and now it's just kind of like weaving and turning and doing the same things over and over, like the stupid Charmings, and they're always fighting each other because they repeat that storyline over and over and over again. and I'm not a big fan of like just the charming parents. Like they bore me, and a lot of the really cool characters that you had in the first season disappeared, and it's just no. I think that the first season that it had was really, really good, like really super strong, and then it just kind of petered out. Very similarly, actually, and I didn't put this on my list, but I should have, to Heroes, the TV show. Very similar. I think the first season was like amazingly strong. You could probably put these as equal. Amazingly strong, awesome, wonderful season. It could have just ended there. Like, it could have just been done, because after that, it just crashed and burned. And that was the writer's strike fault that was happening around that time, really. But Once Upon a Time is no excuse. There's no writer's strike. And it's just kind of bad. I'm just, like, sad about it. And number one is one that I am always going to be mad about, and that is Tru Blood. Tru Blood was one of my favorite TV shows. It still is one of my favorite TV shows. The first 3 seasons are perfection. They are so freaking good. The third season is like the epitome of TV and that show in general. It's just amazing. And I liked season 4, but it started to kind of go downhill. And then 5 and 6 were just like, what is even happening? And the ending is fucking stupid. And it's another series where, again, you had this kind of promise at the beginning, like very similar to like the Anita Blake series, which is something that just kind of happens with paranormal romance stuff, urban fantasy, is you have this promise at the beginning, especially with Tru Blood, of this like gratuitous, over-the-top paranormal shenanigans, and then the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but the ending was just like not true to that, and the characters weren't true to that, and it was just very weird. This is also based on a book series which had the similar ending, which is even more upsetting because the book series did even cooler stuff than the show did, I think, and they just dropped the ball completely with the show later seasons, because when they started kind of getting away from the books it was kind of like, what are you doing? And just dumb. But ultimately the books ended poorly too, so it's fine, doesn't matter. But this series was so freaking good. It was so good. It was one of the only shows that I watched like live every week, because I don't tend to do that. And I'm so mad about what happened to it, because it just crashed. And my characters don't deserve that. They don't deserve it. And a lot of them got really bad endings. And I'm really mad about it. So that is it for the series that I think got worse with every book or every season. Comment down below and let me know some of the books and TV shows that you think got worse as time went on. There's a lot of them. And I don't blame you for being mad, because I'm mad too. So thank you all for watching. I'll see all you guys soon. Bye!